Hi, it's Timo. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello everybody, Lewis, Norwich City Central. Hope you're all doing well. Have a good day, have a great week. Really interesting developments at Norwich City Football Club. Norwich City losing 1-0 to Bournemouth, their first loss in the Championship. But that wasn't the headline news. The headline news was the omission of Buendia and Todd Cantwell. And after the game, Daniel Farke came out and explained the situation. And in my opinion, it's the most animated I've seen Farke, and possibly even the most brutal we've seen from Daniel Farke. Some really big words coming out of the Norwich City camp, and it's really fascinating to see what will happen from here. In this video, I'll be talking about Daniel Farke's comments and what he said about Buendia and Todd Cantwell. My opinions on them, but I'd love to hear your opinions. Get them down below in the comment section. And also Todd Cantwell's potential move to Leeds. I'm sure there'll be a few Leeds fans watching and be wondering, what is the latest and the lowdown on Todd Cantwell. So I'll be talking a little bit about that potential move. If you are new to Norwich City Central, please subscribe for all the latest Norwich City news, match reviews, and a lot of new content coming your way. But let's go and let's identify and let's see what Daniel Farke said about Buendia and Todd Cantwell after the game. So firstly, he comes out and says, "I watched our training week and I pick a team on these players that are fully focused and desire to represent the yellow shirt. I never pick a team because of the name, potential, or what someone has done in the past. They are both fit. I'd rather play the kitman if a player is not focused." So there we go. That is the reason why Buendia and Todd Cantwell, they weren't fully focused on the game, and he wants players who are, got desire and fully focused on doing well. He then goes on to say, "I really hope this bloody transfer window is closed pretty soon. Some players are capable to handle this. Max Aarons is a role model. Sadly, Emmy and Todd are not on the same level that they can focus on this. I don't blame them because they're young human beings." And finally, he goes on to say in relation to Todd Cantwell, Todd Cantwell, I think, scored 6 or 7 goals for Norwich City in the Premier League, but only got the 1 assist. And he goes on to say about Todd Cantwell, "With all respect, with these statistics, let's be honest, I could have played Grant Hanley or Christoph Zimmerman up front, and they wouldn't assist less situations." So quite a damning comment, that last one there, maybe criticising Todd Cantwell's performances, which I don't think are wrong, because Todd was one of our better players in the Premier League. So very interesting there. Daniel Farke saying that he left them out because they're not focused and they haven't got the desire, and an interesting comment on how Max Aarons is fully focused and Buendia and Todd Cantwell aren't. Very interesting comments there, and quite brutal comments as well, because to do it out publicly is quite damning. And in terms of my opinion on it, I appreciate the honesty from Daniel Farke. You always want honesty between the manager and the fans, and that's what you cry out for in the modern day. And he did this, it's not the first time, he did this with Nelson Oliveira. Daniel Farke's first game, Nelson Oliveira scores a 90th minute goal at Craven Cottage. Everyone was going crazy, including myself, and Nelson goes and hands up his shirt to Daniel. And then of course last season, Mo Leitner believed he had an attitude problem as well. That was what's coming out of the camp against Brighton. And Mo Leitner pretty much played every game in the Premier League up until November, and then didn't play since in the Premier League, or didn't start a game, which was quite damning. So, we don't know what's right and wrong with Daniel Farke, and I do agree with Daniel in the respect that if a player isn't fully focused, if they don't care about the club, then they shouldn't, because no player is bigger than the club. But it's slightly different with these players in terms of that they are both big names, and if you miss them, like we saw today against Bournemouth, Norwich City are a far worse team. But of course, I do agree with that side. And, if they're not focused and don't want to play for Norwich City, then look, I get why they were missed out. But the question is, are they really like that? Todd Cantwell's played 2 games this season, and whilst not putting in the best performances, has been trying, I think. And I'm sure Emmy does want to play, so I'm just not sure about these comments. And what if Buendia and Todd Cantwell don't go? It's almost leaving them to dry. You've kind of got 2 reactions here. You've got either both of the players saying, "You know what? You've come out to the press and publicly kind of shamed me also in terms of my attitude," and these players might believe their attitude are fine. "You've publicly shamed me. Why should I play for you?" And we've just seen with the situations with Nelson and Mo Leitner just how hard it is to get back into the team. And if they don't go, then that could be really problematic. Alternatively, it could give them the kick up the arse, and that they might improve their attitude. But it's really fascinating to see this one, and there's 2 sides to every story. But Daniel Farke has come out, and it's been very very brutal. Particularly saying about the Todd Cantwell assist situation, saying how, oh, if I had one of my defenders up front, he would be doing, not any worse on Todd Cantwell. That is brutal. But also, why I think this was probably the wrong thing to do on Daniel Farke's side is that it kind of loses his position in terms of the bargaining tool. I don't think Webber would have been happy with him, because a lot of clubs will be saying, oh, wait, look, Buendia and Todd Cantwell are out of favour. We can lower the valuation now because they probably want to be off. So is this the last time we can see Todd Cantwell and Buendia in a yellow shirt? Honestly, after those comments, I think it is more likely. I think they're very damning, very brutal. And I'm not sure whether I agree with Daniel Farke on them, but I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on them. Yeah, really, really interesting scenes. I think the one thing we can take out of it is how Max Aarons is, a great professional. He's got interest from Barcelona, Bayern Munich, the biggest clubs in the world. And Max has stayed grounded and in probably man the match performances in all 3 games from a Norwich City perspective. But on Todd Cantwell and Buendia, it's slightly different. I think you look at Todd, and a lot of people have negative attitudes on Todd Cantwell and saying how he's a prime Madonna. He's an Instagram kind of star who's quite out there, and he isn't kind of your traditional footballer, and he has been accused of an attitude problem before and having kind of more self-entitlement and believing he's better than he is. And I'm not sure I buy into that. I think he's a confident person, but I don't believe he's kind of like a prime Madonna who's going to, shake his toys out the pram. But maybe after Daniel Farke's comments, that's what it is. You don't know. And Buendia as well, we just know how important he is to the team. You've seen from the training pictures, I think Buendia looks happy. So, yeah, I really don't know what's going on there. Daniel Farke said it in his pre-match conference, Buendia is fine to be picked. And then apparently in a day, does he have an attitude problem? I don't know. But I think there's 2 sides to every story, and I'm not sure Daniel Farke has done the right thing there. And look, we got promoted in the 18-19 season because of a brilliant squad ethic, and that's what Championship squads are. They're the ones who have brilliant squad ethics. And I'm just looking at this team at the moment, and I do not think it's a happy camp. I think players are getting into the team who perhaps don't deserve to be, and it's just not a happy camp at the moment from what I've seen and from Daniel Farke's comments. In terms of Todd Cantwell to Leeds are expressing a £15 million bid, and to be honest, if Leeds put in a bid maybe of 20 million, I think that's more than good enough to be accepted. I think Todd Cantwell is a good player. In terms of our academy players, is he as good as James Maddison and Max Aarons? No, I don't think he's on that level, but he's still a good academy player. I don't know how I'd rate them, but I'd say Buendia, Maddison and Max Aarons are probably the best players to play for Norwich in the last 5 years. But no, I think if a bid comes in for 15-20 million, I think we should accept it from Todd. He had a very good season, 6 goals and an assist, but I'm not sure if we were to get to the Premier League again, he would replicate those kind of statistics. I'm not saying it was a one-off season, but I think that's a really good value for Todd, and I think we should accept it. And, if he doesn't want to be here, move on. As I say, I do agree with Daniel. If players aren't going to have the right attitude, they should go. But as I say, there's 2 sides to every story, and whether Todd Cantwell's thrown his toys out the pram, whether Buendia has thrown out his toys out the pram, I don't know. And it'll be fascinating to see what they say to it and how they respond, because that really, really could be the last time now we've seen them in a yellow and green shirt, which is such a shame. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens from here, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments down below. But yeah, Buendia and Todd Cantwell, are we going to see them play for Norwich again? And what are your thoughts on Daniel Farke? If you are new to Norwich City Central, please subscribe. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.